student Simon, which was funded by Mitsubishi Electric and co-advised by Benoit, in collaboration with Stéphane from CMU, who is today is giving a great tutorial on Chimera, which implements dynamic differential logic. So the aim, okay, the aim of this talk is ultimately the verification of automated factories, large networked infrastructure, which most comprised closed-loop hybrid systems that are connected one with each other, either physically or digitally. And so this is the class of computer control system, which have a physical a model of the physics. For instance, here you have the model of a tank with an inlet and an outlet. And in that part of the model, time is continuous. And you have a digital controller to sense the plant and actuate its elements. And in the middle of it, a monitor consisting of hardware and software, and for the controller part, so time is sampled. So, sorry about that. Okay, well, maybe I will stop using this. So basically what we have to do is to mitigate these two domains of time, each of which being subject to conflicting constraints. So one typical constraint for a digital controller is latency, which is here understood as the time for between sensing, the sensing of an event and the actual actuation. Whereas in the physical model, we have usually a notion of controllability, which is here what is the minimal amount of time necessary to stop the inlet of water before the tank overflows. So this is a very classical and well-known topic in hybrid system design. And there are many large and very well-developed theories and tools to model such systems. So the most common one being hybrid, the notion of hybrid automata, which allows verification by model checking. In terms of proof-assisted verification, so another big domain is formalism is a hybrid CSP, which is supported by verification in Isabelle using a proof system for hybrid Hoare logic. SMT, satisfaction modulo theory using delta decidability, using tools for proving invariance or searching for, reaching some properties. Hybrid event B, which is more focused on the refinement-based, refinement-based design of such models toward actual implementation. And finally, dynamic differential logic, which is an integrated tool with both, theorem prover, a proof system, assisted with SAT modulo theory in order to discharge simple proofs, as well as Mathematica to solve differential equations. And in the context of this project, so this was our choice 4 years ago, and since then we have started related collaborations with two of these groups. I'm really sorry, I don't know what's happening. Okay. Okay, so you have already had an outline of the next slides. So basically, what we want to do, we want to use a proof engine for verifying large industrial plants. How are we going to do that? We need to do we need to have an exhaustive proof of all the elements, for instance, here on water recycling plants? Such models can be very large, especially if we try to enumerate all of their components. Fortunately, they are, at the time we started this work, they were notion allowing to to build components from such models in order to decompose them. However, getting to proof automation is still difficult by composition. And this is essentially the contribution of my student Simon, which is to provide means for modular verification and proof automation for composed computer control systems. And we are using dynamic differential logic, and since you are missing the the tutorial on Chimera today, I'm giving, because probably you already know what it is, I will give a brief refresh on dynamic differential logic. So it's essentially a very simple imperative formalism with assignment of formulas to real variables. Try to use this safely. Test, the test of a formula phi, which either continues execution if the test is true or just stops if it's false. Sequence, non-deterministic choice between two terms. Iteration, which amounts to executing 0 to an inductive number of times the term alpha. So this is for the discrete part, and the continuous part is the specification of mathematical composition of differential equations. So here we are defining the derivative of x as the expression theta in H, which is the domain of that variable. That is, that variable will only be defined by that expression in the domain specified by, for instance, a property H. Formulas. So formulas are made of real arithmetic terms. I have not enumerated all of them. Okay. Oops. Real arithmetic terms, comparison operators, fragment of propositional logic, quantification of real variables, and modality. So this modality here tells that for all execution of the specification alpha, that property must hold. So it's an invariant, a differential invariant. So that from that very simple specification formalism, we can build more convenient specification of programming patterns, such as the if-then-else. So the if-then-else is rewritten as guarding the execution of alpha by the test of theta, or choose the opposite if it stops. We can define the while as the iteration of alpha under the Guardet condition that theta is true, and the continuation with theta force in the end. Okay, so let's see that by formalizing our simple water tank. So the water tank, so here the water tank, in the water tank model, we want essentially to monitor the water level. This water level, and it's not so trivial, is it's not such a trivial property. It must have a positive level, otherwise it doesn't make any sense. And its derivative is defined by the difference between the inlet and outlet flow. So it's a very simple linear system. Its controller can be specified by this little program, which sends the water level WLM, and then checks whether this current level is above a threshold, in which case it will need to close the inlet of water. And otherwise, if it comes below some minimum threshold, then on the contrary, it will open the inlet. Otherwise, it will skip for one turn. Okay. So what do we want to do for with this model? We want to first compose the continuous and discrete components, and then assemble them with larger pieces to eventually build a water recycling factory. Okay, so to do that, we need artifacts to support modular design and verification, and namely a very simple notion of component, which is built from a name, a specification alpha in differential dynamic logic, in which we separate the discrete statements from the continuous statements. So it's not, as you'll see, it does not, the specification itself will not remain modular. It will be split around in pieces when we compose elements. So we use the notion of used variables, or which are not exactly the inputs. These are the variables used by the specification alpha, and the defined variable BV, the defined variables are the ones which are defined by a derivative in the specification. And we have a contract. So that contract is not a pre and post condition of the model. That contract is made of assumptions on the domain of definition of the specification alpha, and it gives a guarantee or an invariant for all execution of alpha. So it can be stated as follows. So the contract is satisfied in some environment E, which is the environment of definition surrounding that component, if the assumption and environment property are true, then G, the guarantee of the contract, is a differential invariant of the specification alpha. Okay. So we are using this notion of component in order to support parallel composition and eventually proof automation. To do so, we need to make syntactic, common sense, I would say better common sense assumptions about what we are actually composing. We must compose components who do not define the same variables, of course. Each of the component owns the variables it defines. So this is the first constraint. Another common sense design guideline is that the guarantee of some component B should not claim anything about a variable defined in another component. Okay? So which is written like that. That is, for all the variables mentioned in the guarantee of beta, none can be defined for the variables defined of the other component. And finally, we have a constraint about the consistency between the assumption and guarantees of components, which is that, for instance, here, under the hypothesis that the assumption of alpha is true, then it is always the case for all variables of beta that the guarantee implies the assumption. That is, it does not, in fact, it means it does not contradict it. Okay, so it's consistent. And once we have that, then we can define the parallel composition. So it's not an operator, it's more of a pattern. Okay? A pattern that will simulate the parallel composition of the actual components. What is it made of? It is made of the choice between evaluating the discrete statements of alpha or the discrete statements of beta, that is basically interleaving. Okay? Basic interleaving. And the mathematical composition of the continuous statements of alpha and beta, which is done like that. That is, suppose you have two differential equations, then you just compose them mathematically, and you define them on the intersection of their, you restrict them on the intersection of their value domains. Okay, and then, so the so-called parallel composition satisfies the conjunction of assumptions and guarantees. Okay. Yeah. So, and then the main result for that approach is a theorem which states exactly what I just said, and whose proofs define a tactic in the Chimera X theorem prover. That is, it is defined by induction, and for each case of components A and B, it derives the proof of the composed contract from the knowledge, from the hypothesis about each of the component contracts. So instead of running the whole proof, I can show you how it works on our small example. So first step is for an individual component to verify its guaranteed invariant under the given hypothesis. So here the water level is a simple linear differential equation. And what are the assumptions to this water tank? The assumption is essentially that the water tank requires to be controlled in order to provide a guarantee that the water level never underflow or overflows. Okay? So it makes some requirement about the controller that needs to be attached to it. Otherwise, you cannot prove anything about the water level. Okay? Same with the monitor, but the monitor has no particular assumption about the environment, but will provide an implementation of such actuation on the input. Okay? So both define a separate set of variables. Neither does interfere with the guarantee of the other, and the assumption of ones are compatible with the guarantee of the other, and therefore we can compose these two elements. So in the end, what we obtain is well, the continuous part, which is only the water level model, and the discrete part, which is only that of the monitor. So this is a very simple case, but at last we have derived automatically the invariant, well, some contract for this component, but now we can compose it, for instance, in sequence with other water tanks to build larger systems, and so on and so on. Okay. And now, as to the timing aspect I mentioned in the introduction. The conflicting constraints of latency and control period of such a linear system must always satisfy that the latency should be smaller than the control period. That is to say that there must be some threshold in this region in which the controller must have done a sensing of the system and returned an actuation on the system before it reaches so an alarming level. Okay, so here this is done essentially by collecting constraints in the max plus fashion, that is by adding the constraints on latency and keeping the minimal constraint of controllability over the system. So there is a placeholder for that in our component model, but these individual constraints, they can also be subject to specification, which depend on the either the input or the defined variables of the components, as well as assumptions or guarantees themselves. Okay, and so all this has been implemented in the theorem prover Chimera. The tactics itself is not so big. It's around 30 lines of definitions in Chimera. And it follows the proof of the main theorem from the thesis of Simon, and which is a successful first experiment because it demonstrates the feasibility of such an automation to really pretend to scale to larger system, which will be the topic of the next PhD we funded by Mitsubishi Electric. And that's almost it. Maybe I can conclude here. Thank you very much.